Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my April TBROPOLY sponsored by the board TBROPOLY. I don't have it with me. Hold up. This one! So before we get into rolling the dice to pick the prompts, to pick the books that I'm going to read for the month, we need to discuss how last month's went. So I had 5 books in last month because for March and April I am quite busy, so I'm only going to be rolling 5 times no matter what. And these are the 4+1 audiobook that I needed to read. So I have read the audiobook, which was Fortuna Sworn. I have read these bottom 2 books. I am partially through Blood of Assassins, and I have not started The Dragon Reborn. Normally, I would be very forgiving of myself and I would say that, oh, I didn't have time, I was really busy, I couldn't get to it. I think that's fair. I knew that these months were going to be crazy. The thing is, I did have time this month to pick this book up and finish it. I just fully chose not to read it. I wasn't in the mood for it. I've been kind of going through a little bit of a slump this month where I am just not drawn to fantasy. So I 100% chose not to read this book. So it is time to introduce you all to my punishment jar, which is actually a mug and is actually an owl, and it's my favorite mug ever, so I don't know why I'm choosing it for the punishment one instead of drinking tea out of it. I have written a bunch of punishments up in here. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below, and I will be drawing one right now, and it will be my punishment for the month, as it is only fair. I will be reading The Dragon Reborn this coming month. I have 2. I have this one right here is mine, and what does it say? No buy for 2 weeks, which means that I cannot buy a book for the next 2 weeks, which is totally fair. So as of right now, it is March 25th, but I am going to have this start on April 1st when you all are seeing this. I cannot buy a book until April 15th. Cool? I like that punishment. I'm gonna throw it back into the jar. Happy Friday, all. I hope you're having a good day. It's April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. I have never been one to celebrate April Fool's Day, but I guess it's a really fun, big tradition in some households. Because I did not read The Dragon Reborn, the card that picked that prompt will go back into the deck, and I'll prove that once we go to the board. Hello, welcome back. So this is where I left off last time. This is the card that did not get read for. It is odd. So I am going to just shuffle it back into the deck, do a quick little, oh my goodness, ignore that. Do a quick little shuffle. Oh my God, another one? I don't know how to shuffle. So quick little shuffle, put those back here. Where did I put the dice? Where, oh, they're underneath my leg, and we're going to start off with our first roll, which is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 was odd, so the first card up is biggest book. For biggest book on my shelf, I felt like this meant more so that the length and width of the book had to be the biggest. Like I was going for tallest book on my shelf, not necessarily like longest book on my shelf, because I do have a longest on my shelf. As you just saw, I had to reshuffle it back in. So for biggest book on my shelf, I decided to go with The Flying Dragon Room, which is a book I read as a child and remember heavily enjoying. It has my brother's name in the front cover. I'm going to cover up our last name. You can see that that is my brother, and so that means it was his book. I know that there are words and drawings on this, and I remember it being about a boy who builds a room where he can actually go and fly with dragons. So it is like more of a magical realism because it starts out in a contemporary setting and then he kind of like falls into this world. So maybe it's more of like a portal fantasy world, but it is actually the largest book on my shelf. Believe it or not, it's a lot larger than The Dragon Reborn. Our second roll, oh, okay, we're not gonna count that one, is 5. Okay, that was super weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another odd, and it is Title Contains letter R. For Title Contains an R, I decided that I wanted to do a reread, and I wanted to reread something that was a little bit more of like a historical fiction, especially since I've like not been in the mood for fantasy recently. I thought this would be nice for me to take like a little bit of a break and try something different this month. So for Title Contains an R, I decided to grab 10 Little Dinosaurs, which is just such a fun interactive book. You guys can't see it. The book, normally when you're reading it, he's looking at you. So you have read this one previously. It was a really good read. There are also illustrations in this one. So it is about 10 little dinosaurs. There are actually more than 10. So it starts off with 10 on the first page and one gets injured. But then when you go to 9, it's like a different species of dinosaurs. And what's really cool about this is you do actually learn about all the different types of dinosaurs at the back of the book. And it's quite fun. My favorite is the Spinosaurus. I think he's really cool, but I am also quite drawn to like velociraptors and T-Rexes. So this book is right up my alley, even though it's not in my normal genre. I think this will be good, and I think this will help me get out of my slump. Maybe I should tell you what this is about. So if you know the nursery rhyme, know exactly what animal it is, but I think it's like 10 little pigs jumping on the bed or something. This is a retelling of that nursery rhyme, but with the idea of dinosaurs, and it's about this education of dinosaurs and their hobbies and what they like to do with their lives. Our third roll, let's hope it's not another 5, is 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That didn't make sense. That should have been 10. Hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did I do the board wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, when I created the board, I made it wrong. You're supposed to be 10 from here to... Okay, not that big of a deal. The card is going to be sequel. Oh, for sequel, I had to really do some investigating because I am just not in the mood to continue on to a series, try anything like that I've done before. So I have recently released a video on my channel about all the sequels that I need to read. Almost every single one of those is either a dystopian or a fantasy, and I'm just, like I said, not vibing with that right now. So I decided to look back to a few sequels that I needed to read like before that list was made and see if there's anything like earlier in my life that I hadn't gotten to. And I did find one that I had read the first book years and years and years ago, and I never moved on to the sequel. And that is The Cat in the Hat Comes Back. So I have read The Cat in the Hat. I think I rated it like 3 out of 5 stars. Like it was decent, a little bit weird for my personal taste. It's about this odd, like anamorphic cat who comes and like causes chaos with these children. It did get made into a movie a few years later. I think Mike Myers is in it, and it's kind of more of a horror movie than it is like this weird magical realism book. But I've never read the sequel, so I don't actually know what the sequel is about or what it contains. But I'm assuming, just based on where the first book left us, that we're gonna still have the same 2 little kids, and that the cat is gonna visit them again, and that he's gonna cause more mayhem. 4th roll. Okay. 3. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. Are odds more likely to happen than even cards? I've never thought about that. And it's going to be favorite color on cover. Favorite color on cover. This one's always tricky for me because it's like, what is my favorite color? Is it blue? Is it purple? Is it black? Is it gray? Like all I tend to wear is black and gray, but I also am really drawn to like blues and purples, but I also like really love maroon. And I also recently have been like super into this like dark green, dark cyan color. So it's like hard for me to pick one color and call it my favorite. So when I saw this book on my shelf, I knew it would fit perfectly into it. And while it doesn't technically have my favorite color on the cover, it has the word color on the cover. So this is a book by Eric Carlisle. He's the one who wrote The Very Hungry Caterpillar, which I'm sure we've all read at this point. I don't need to explain what that book is about. It is a classic here on BookTube. And he wrote this book called Colors. And the whole entire point of this book is to help you learn your colors and identify them. And I think that's something that's like super helpful for me as an artist, is to be able to read this and know that that is red. I don't want to spoil the book for you, so I'm not going to flip through and show you the rest of the pages, but I will say that this book is really cool because it has some like hidden clues throughout. So at the very beginning, it tells you that while you're reading the book, you need to pay attention for this little caterpillar. And if you pay attention, he's hidden somewhere on one of the pages. And if you find him, you don't really get anything, but you like feel good about yourself. So I'm not going to spoil where he is in the book. I did have a friend tell me where he is because that friend had read this book previously and knew where the caterpillar was. So like, I already know where to find him. And I feel like that's kind of disappointing. Like I don't get that part of the mystery of this story, but I'm still really excited to get better with my colors and to better understand them. And I feel like at the end of reading this book, I'm just gonna know more about myself, more about colors, and more about the world around me. So it is like a nonfiction, which is something I really don't read on my channel. And I think it's about time that I start having more education in my life and in what I read. And I think this is a really, really good place to start. And the fifth and hopefully final roll is going to be 9 again. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And another odd card is same character as me. So for the final roll, it is character same as me. And this one always is fun because you can really try and make it like fit anything. So some of the things I like to look for are, is the character female like me? Is the character white like me? Or specifically Italian American? Is the character asexual like me? So I'm always looking for something to like connect me to the character specifically. But this time I thought it would be more fun to, instead of connecting any of those like attributes about me, it's connect it into something like a hobby of mine. So I was looking for a character who had a similar hobby to me. And for this one, I am going to be doing an audiobook, and I have the physical one, so I'll hold it up for you, but I'm going to be doing the audio of Bird Watching with Bert. And what's really cool about this is a really old book, and it was made, I believe, like in the 1980s, 1990s. They used to release these books with the audiobook attached. So like as I'm going, I go to the page where I want to be reading, and then I find the bird here, and then I click it, and it reads the book to me. So that's super helpful. I'm really glad I got an audiobook on this list. And in case you don't know, I don't like actually go out and watch birds, but I love birds, and every single time I see them, I stop to look at them. And I can identify many types of birds because my family did used to bird watch when I was younger, and we had like books and stuff and we could flip through and try to learn more about them and everything. One of my favorites is definitely hawks, which I don't know if I'm gonna be learning about in this book, to be honest, but I know that there are crows and woodpeckers, and I also love those. Also, I am seeing on the front cover some ducks, and I think ducks are absolutely amazing. Anyways, so this book is more of like a contemporary work. You are learning about Bert and Ernie, and they are teaching their friend about bird watching. So there's definitely some kind of conflict where like their friend is not picking up this skill as easily as they want him to, and they just want to go out and watch these birds and see them and hear their beautiful noises, and their friend is like goofing off and messing around and is kind of disrupting the area. I do believe that while they're on this trip, they see a few other animals besides birds, but let's be real, I am only here for the birds. I'm also like here for the fact that it's an audiobook, and I think that that is just going to be like really, it's really great what I need this month, especially with that stack that I've already shown you. Like there are a lot of books, a lot of pages, like some of them are thick, and I'm just gonna need one that I can like be putting on when I'm doing work and I don't have to like focus on it that much. So this is the stack of books that I am going to be reading this month. It's not as thick as some stacks have been in the past, but it is like a decent amount of books. I'm really excited about them. I definitely went and like found some things outside of my normal genre. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you all for having a good time with me today. I am having a laugh here, really enjoying this monthly TBR. In all seriousness, April Fools, happy birthday, whatever you want to call it. I will not be setting a real TBR for the month. These 100% are real books, and I will read all of them. I will be reading them with my nephew as the month continues on, because I usually sit and read with him about once a week. So yes, these are real books, and yes, they count as reading, but no, they are not my real TBR. I will not be setting a real TBR this month, just to give myself a little bit of a break right before the wedding, especially with me just not being drawn to my normal stuff. So I hope you're all having a good time. I hope you all enjoyed this joke. But thank you all for watching. If you have a TBR, please leave it linked down below. I'd love to watch it and learn more about what you're reading this next coming month. And until next time, I don't remember how my outro goes, but I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye!